April 17, 1945. In the vast Pacific, 900 nautical miles east of Okinawa, Task Force 58 prepares for the unknown. Overhead, at 25,000 feet, F6F Hellcats from the USS Yorktown slice through cold morning air. These are not just patrols. They are guardians, forming the outer ring of what will soon be recognized as the most effective air defense system of the Pacific War. Below them, F4U, 1D Corsairs from the USS Hornet fly in loose formations at 15,000 feet. The early sun casts long shadows from their bent wings across the sea of clouds. This is the Big Blue Blanket, a layered web of American fighters designed to meet and destroy Japanese kamikaze attackers long before they ever see the fleet. That morning, 40 Japanese aircraft are en route from Kyushu, 22 duty dive bombers loaded with 1,100-pound bombs, escorted by 18 Zeros. Lieutenant Commander Yoshikazu Nagahama leads the formation, his plan relying on surprise. Approach low to avoid radar, then climb and dive in fast. But intelligence has failed him. The Americans are no longer waiting near the fleet. They're hunting far out at 3 distinct altitude levels. At 10:47 a.m., for small glints in the sky marked the beginning of the end for Nagahama's formation. F6F Hellcats, orbiting high. What his briefings failed to predict is now unmistakably clear. The Americans are prepared, and they've changed the game. Lieutenant Raymond Porter leads the Hellcat division. With 2,400 rounds of .50 caliber ammo and visibility for over 150 miles, he knows what's coming. Fighter direction officers aboard the Yorktown Vector his team into position. Just 4 aircraft against 40, but with altitude, coordination, and tactics on their side. At 10:49, they strike. Diving from 25,000 feet, Porter's Hellcat accelerates past 450 miles per hour. He lines up 2 bombers on the left flank. In 3 seconds, he reduces both to flaming wrecks. Then he zoom climbs back to safety. His wingman is already attacking the opposite side. The Japanese formation disintegrates into confusion. Japanese Zeros attempt to climb and intercept, but their engines can't handle the altitude. At 20,000 feet, their performance drops off a cliff. The Hellcats, built for this environment, dominate the skies. The physics of altitude, engine performance, and energy tactics are now squarely in American hands. Then comes the second layer. At 10:52, Corsairs from USS Bunker Hill dive into fray. They strike from multiple angles, further breaking up what little formation the Japanese still have. One Corsair scores a direct hit on a Zero. Another takes out 2 bombers in one firing pass. In minutes, the Japanese lose several more aircraft. Nagahama watches his carefully planned attack fall apart. His pilots, trained for rapid, coordinated sacrifice, are now improvising some break formation, diving early. Others peel off entirely, hoping to reach the fleet through scatter holes. Among them is Hiroshi Yamamoto, piloting a damaged Judy. With a shredded wing and limited control, he flies alone toward the American fleet. But even this desperate act is met by preparation. At 11 a.m., the third and final layer engages. Hellcats at 8,000 feet, stationed directly above the fleet, intercept the stragglers. Yamamoto's bomber is riddled with .50 caliber rounds. Its bomb explodes harmlessly over open water. He never stood a chance. By the time the smoke clears, 31 Japanese planes are down by fighters alone. 7 more are destroyed by anti-aircraft fire. Only 2 aircraft even get close enough to begin attack runs, and both fail. A 95% loss rate. The numbers speak for themselves. But the story goes deeper. Nagahama manages to limp back to Kyushu. His plane is nearly out of fuel, the engine wounded, controls sluggish. But what he reports upon return strikes even harder than his own near-death experience. American air defense is now layer-coordinated and unstoppable. For Japan, this mission represents more than tactical failure. It is the death knell of kamikaze doctrine as a viable strategy. Spiritual determination can't climb above 20,000 feet. It can't compensate for inferior engines, weaker airframes, or the lack of radar and fighter coordination. The Americans aren't winning because of luck. They are winning because they have built a system. High-altitude fighters provide early engagement. Mid-altitude interceptors hit damaged or distracted bombers. Low-altitude CAP fighters deliver the final blow, all coordinated by radar, trained direction officers, and disciplined pilot formations. Each layer reinforces the next. And unlike Japan, the U.S. has the resources to sustain this indefinitely. Replacement aircraft, well-fed, well-trained pilots, millions of rounds of ammunition, superior fuel, carrier maintenance crews, aircraft recovery systems. The big blue blanket is not just a tactic. It is a visible edge of an entire industrial and technological ecosystem. By contrast, Japan's air power is eroding. Pilot training has been reduced to weeks. Some kamikaze pilots have never flown live-fire drills. Fuel shortages cripple operations. And even experienced escort pilots lack the altitude training needed to challenge American fighters. More than strategy, more than steel, this war in the sky is now a contest of systems. And only one side has won. As April 17 fades into evening, aboard the carriers of Task Force 58, pilots debrief. Maps are updated, tactics refined, lessons recorded. For them, this wasn't just a victory. It was proof that the system works, that the long months of training, discipline, and coordination have paid off. And for the Japanese command back in Kyushu, it's a bitter realization. The hope that kamikaze raids could break the American advance is fading. Each failed mission consumes irreplaceable pilots and planes. The big blue blanket is doing more than intercepting attackers. It's smothering an entire strategy. This was not the beginning of a battle. It was the end of an idea. From now on, every kamikaze pilot will fly knowing the odds are worse than slim, that they are walking into a meat grinder built from radar, engines, bullets, and doctrine, that their sacrifice, once believed to be decisive, may now be meaningless. April 17, 1945, marked a turning point in the Pacific Air War, not because of a single engagement, but because of what it revealed, that American air power had achieved total supremacy, not just in the sky, but in the systems that controlled it. The big blue blanket was no longer just a tactic.